All right, so this one is going to be a short and sweet episode, I think. But it's entitled No More Therapy for Now. And it's entitled that because I was in therapy. Excuse me. I was in therapy, but it ended. One moment. Okay, so it ended because the agency that I was using to get my therapy through was an online agency. And I went to them because I'd heard good things about them. I'd read good reviews about them. Um, and the therapist that I had, she was good. However, the agency that I went through has this rule where you have to pay up a month at a time, which, great, I don't have a problem with that. The problem came in when I paid for my first month. First session in, the therapist says, I'm going on vacation. So reach out to the agency and let them know that you're going to need an extension because we're not going to be able to get all four of your sessions in. And we are doing this on a weekly basis. We're not going to be able to get all four of your sessions in that 4 week time frame. So ask for an extension. So I did that. I appreciated her saying, this is what's happening, and this is what you need to do, and this is how you do it. So I did that, and they granted the extension. However, because that extension went past the 4 weeks, I didn't get my four sessions. They wanted me to pay for another month before they would allow me to even get my fourth session from the first month. So I ended my services. I let them have it, and then I ended my services. And she was doing a decent job. I mean, she knew what she was doing. She had some great resources. She had some great recommendations. Um, she had some great insight. So she knew how to do her job. But because this agency wants you to pay for 4 weeks at a time, a month at a time, and the extension that I asked for and then was subsequently granted fell beyond that 4 weeks, they would not let me get my fourth and final session with her. And I had told her, I pay for the month. After this final session, I'm going to take a little bit of a break to handle some stuff and then come back. And I'll just request you when I come back. And she said, okay, great. That's fine. Um, but we never got to the fourth session. And when did I find out? The day of the fourth session. Me trying to sign into the fourth session and the system not letting me sign into the fourth session because I would not pay for the next month. I was livid. I was so upset with them. And they wanted to give me 6 weeks, add on an additional week and give me 6 weeks. I just needed to pay for that next month. Why would I do that? Why would I even commit to that when you can't keep your word about the previous month? Why would I expect you to keep your word about the next month? So that was a no for me. I did reach out to the therapist because I did find her LinkedIn page, and I did reach out to her and explain to her what happened, and she never responded. Speaking of, while I'm on here with you all, let's look into that. Because at that point, oh, this isn't the right account. Let me sign out of this one. Yeah, when I did it, the last time I checked, she hadn't responded. So I needed to find someone else. I need to find someone else. Because I need someone else. No, she never responded. That was July 13th when I found her. Um, she never responded. I can't even tell if she even ever read it, which just says to me she's not active on her LinkedIn page. Yeah, she's just not active on her LinkedIn page. So I've got to find another therapist, someone that I can pay for out of pocket, um, a session at a time, and that's inexpensive because a lot has happened, and you'll find out in episode 4. Episode 4 is already recorded, but a lot has happened. A lot. And I need to talk about it with a professional and get the help that I need to be okay. Because I'm going to answer this question now before we even get to the end. I'm not okay. But I know that I need to get therapy. I know that I need someone to walk me through the process. I know that if I don't get the help, that it won't turn out all right. And, I am still a believer. I'm still a Christian. I still have faith that God will see me through each and every trial that I go through. So that hasn't minimized, but I also know that God created the science and that He created the people that He created and equipped the people that I need to help me. So I'm going to find another therapist unless I get benefits in the next 30 days that start right away. I'll be paying out of my pocket. The other reason why I went with that agency is because their rates were really very reasonable. Well, I could pay, if you've ever been in therapy, you know that therapy can get really expensive depending on what kind of therapist it is and how many sessions you need because of the amount of help that you need. So therapy can get really, really pricey. And one of the reasons why I went with this agency is because, not just because they had great reviews and not just because it was recommended, but because their pricing was so reasonable. And if it had not been for them cutting me off before I could have my last session, I'd still be utilizing their services. But because they did that, I won't even say their name, and I will never recommend them to anyone. Even though there's still people that use them and still people that find them quite helpful, I won't use them and I won't recommend them. And like I said, I won't even say their name because I don't want them to get the recognition that they would get from me saying their name. But I know that I'm going to have a considerable amount of help. My ears itching because my allergies are jacked right now. So yeah, I've got to find a therapist that will do everything that I need done before I go into, quite honestly, a depression. which I'm borderline right now, and I know that I am. Like I said, a lot has happened in the last 30 days. It'll be exactly, and just so you have a precursor into episode 4, tomorrow will make exactly 1 month since my father passed. And I'm dealing with that as well as another major loss. And it's just time. Like I said, if I don't get the therapy that I need, I am going to go into a depression, and that's not something that I want at all. Because I've been there. If you've listened to any of the other ones that well, I don't know. Maybe I haven't mentioned it before. But once upon a time, I spent a year in bed. Pardon me, depressed. It was after my first marriage ended. I wasn't working. I was just in a really very low place. And I had I had been there before, but I didn't know what it was. And then when I got there, that time, I said, okay, that's what this is. And I did seek therapy then. And they did have me on prescription meds. And I did not like the prescription meds. So I more than likely won't do prescription meds. I did find a holistic way to manage the depression. And it worked in addition to the therapy. I may do the same thing. Actually, I have some of the stuff that I used before. And it helped quite a bit. And I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back there. I don't want the feelings. I don't want the lack of energy. I don't want the confusion and cloudiness. I don't want the stagnation. I don't want any of that. And the confusion and cloudiness is already here because there is so much. But I don't want any of it. And the medicine, the prescription meds that the previous therapist had me on back then made me sleepy and non-functional, and I don't want to be in that place. So I will do the holistic thing in combination with therapy, being able to just talk it out with someone on a regular basis and not hold all of this stuff in. I highly recommend therapy. If you've never been, go. And you don't have to be in the middle of a crisis right now. You don't have to be in the middle of a situation in order to go. Just go so that you have someone to get your thoughts out to. A non-partisan, an unbiased opinion. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not connected to you other than through therapy. So they don't have sides to take, you know? So go. It'll offer you some clarity. It'll offer you some insight into yourself. It'll tell you who you are and how you deal with certain things. I am a huge advocate of therapy. And let me say this. If you need to take medication, then take it. Some people have to have medication in order to regulate their chemical imbalance. So if you need it, take it. I can do without it because I have natural remedies that actually work better for me. Then they don't bring about the sleep and the inactivity because I do have a lot going on. I can't afford to be in the bed sleep all day. I've got businesses that I'm trying to run. I can't afford to be in the bed all day. I got a husband I got to take care of. I can't afford to be in bed all day. So I didn't take past a certain time frame. I didn't take the medication for very long. And and the holistic route that I went did for me what the medication was supposed to do for me, aside of the sleepiness and all of that. So I got what I needed. Again, huge advocate of therapy. Go get it. Don't wait till you get in crisis to get it. Again, sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, somebody to bounce these things off of you, that are in your head, these thoughts, these ideas. They may even just offer you some clarity on a project that you want to work on, or a dream that you have. They may be able to sort some things out for you and help you get to the next path without overanalyzing things. Now, a life coach can help you do that too, but a therapist can help you a little bit beyond that. And no, I'm not opposed to life coaching. I am a life coach, so I'm not opposed to it. But I do know that a life coach and a therapist are two different things. And although their paths are very similar, they are parallel to one another, there are areas where they go apart. And if you are listening to this, you don't see the movements that I'm making with my hands. But if you're watching it, you see. But therapy and life coaching is they're parallel to one another, but there is a certain point where they separate. And therapy is good. If you got the right therapist, the right person in your corner, you could live an amazingly fulfilling life. If you have the right person and you're doing what it is that they're suggesting you do, you can live an amazingly fulfilled life. So go get a therapist, get a life coach. I'm going to find a therapist. I need a therapist because I need to be okay, and I'm not right now. I've said that already, and I'm going to say it again. To answer the question that I ask you, I'm going to answer it again. I am not okay, and I know it. So I'm going to do the things that I need to do, take the steps that I need to take so that I can get to okay. So yeah, get a therapist. I need one. I'm going to go get one soon because I'm not okay.